Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be doing a twin flame reading upon request. And as I do this video, I want you guys to keep in mind that we all have a feminine and a masculine essence within ourselves. And the true twin flame journey is the union within the self of the inner masculine and feminine energies. So as you're watching this video, try also watching it for the masculine and the feminine sides of yourself and see how that sits, see how that resonates, and see what sort of insights you may be able to gain from that process. We're going to start first with the Divine Feminine. Clear. Let's talk about the emotional space of the Divine Feminine. What's going on emotionally for the Divine Feminine right now? Where is she at emotionally? And we have the Nine of Wands coming out. Trials and tribulations. Interesting. Tell me more about this. Let me get a little more about this energy. Then we have soul searching with the Two of Cups divine partnership in the reverse. And so I feel as though emotionally right now, the Divine Feminine has really gone internally. She's on this sort of internal journey, trying to really understand why it is that things just haven't worked out when it comes to love. Why have things not worked out? Why have things not gone as planned? I thought I found my soulmate, right? I thought I found my twin flame. And things just aren't. It's been nothing but struggle. It's been nothing but trials. It's like I feel like I'm just walking through this wasteland. You notice that in this picture too. You can see all the people walking down here, and it's like this frozen tundra. And so it's like this energy of like I'm tired. I'm tired of wandering through this wasteland, feeling alone. And I'm tired of things not working out, and I want to understand why. So the Divine Feminine has gone into a major soul-searching mode, really looking, pulling her energy back, right, with that Hermit energy, really trying to understand and figure out where it is that things went wrong, basically. Let's find what's going on in the Divine Feminine's mental space. Let's get a few cards for the Divine Feminine's mental space. Okay. And so we have the Queen of Wands, confident and magnetic. But then we also have the Seven of Wands, defense mechanism. And so I feel like the Divine Feminine on the outside is really presenting this exterior of confidence. But that's really a defense mechanism. And what that's doing is hiding the fact that she's not feeling super confident right now. In a lot of ways. Like she's really, she's in this soul searching, this hermit mode right now. So she's really trying to figure some things out about herself. She's trying to figure out how to regain that confidence, sort of where that's lacking, how to overcome these trials and tribulations, and sort of like understand like what's going on. Like she's learned that it's never about the other person, it's about the self. And so what's going on with me? And so this is causing some emotional turmoil, but she's not showing it on the outside. Even though mentally this is going on, emotionally this is all going on, she's really, she's working on, she's showing that confident front to the world, but it's also like she's coming to an understanding within herself. She's looking at what are the defense mechanisms that I employ, right? Like let's take the focus off the other and put it on the I. What are those mechanisms that I employ? Where is it that I am contributing to these situations? And there's two cards with like ice and snow here. So it's like this cold energy. It's like there's an aspect of her that's really fiery, and she's trying to reignite that fire so that she can sort of melt the ice, because she's realizing that like there's a possibility that like on some aspect or another, like she's been sort of icy herself. Anything? Okay. And then we do have the Divine Feminine, the Empress, popping out here. Yeah, so this is about her. This is about her. What are her defense mechanisms? What walls is she putting up? How is it that she is contributing to these situations? She's really wanting to understand this. And let's grab a couple, and then we have the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck, right? That's what she wants. That's what she's wanting to move towards. Intuitive, sensitive, open, flowing. And so seeing where is that flow missing? Where am I not flowing? And so let's get a couple of these cards clear. Let's get more information on this for the Divine Feminine. What's going on? What are these defense mechanisms? What is she learning about herself? Abandoned. So there's issues of abandonment that she's dealing with right now. Coming to terms with those, looking at those. Where do those come from? Right? What defense mechanisms do I put up to keep myself from feeling this sense of abandonment? And how do I attract that into my reality, right? Because it's like when we fight against something, we just perpetuate it. And so if we have a fear of abandonment, because we have that fear and that's what we expect, that's our belief is that that's going to happen, we attract those situations into our reality, which only then reinforces that belief, right? And so it's like an understanding of that. So what defense mechanisms do I put up to prevent this sense of abandonment? Then we have regret. Okay, and let's see. Then we have mirroring and pride and ego coming out. Yeah. So the Divine Feminine is really realizing where it is that her pride and her ego gets in the way, where it is that that's holding her back. It's like she's seeing and understanding how situations are mirroring all of these situations back to her, right? Like anything that's gone on, she's really looking at, okay, so if this is going on in my outer relationships, in my outer world, what is that a reflection of within me? What is that stirring up within me? What is that showing me that exists within me? And it's like there's some regret that's coming up as she's realized that a lot of these situations really, like, she played just as much a part in them as anybody else. And there's sadness there, and there's regret possibly for the way that she's handled situations, or simply just because of the opportunities that may have been missed due to not understanding this, not understanding these aspects of herself, and being able to heal them. But she is healing them now. And that's what's most important. Like, it's just this pride and this ego. This is what we have to make sure does not get in the way, right? Because that it absolutely can sometimes. And she's seeing how her pride and her ego kind of blocked her from seeing this originally. Because she didn't want to think, right? We always want to look at the other person. We don't want to look at ourselves. And there's so much that happens on this, especially when we talk about the twin flame paradigm, right? We always hear about how the Divine Feminine is the more evolved and spiritually aware at this aspect of the self, right? The feminine aspect. And so we kind of carry that energy with us of that the other person, right, the masculine energy has so much work to do, and we are so healed. And so that's sometimes it's a little bit of a shock when we realize that that's not necessarily the case, and then we have to turn around and we have to do that internal work, which is really interesting. And we have the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So let's get some cards for the masculine energy now. What's going on in the masculine energies? Masculine energies, emotional space. What's going on in the masculine energies, emotional space? I almost feel like some Divine Feminines are having some regret because they're realizing the ways that they have abandoned people and situations. out of this fear of abandonment. This fear of abandonment has caused them to perpetuate that cycle. Not just by attracting people that might abandon them, but by actually abandoning other people as well. It's like that energy of like, I'm going to leave before I get left. So that's interesting. All right, masculine, emotional space. What's going on in the masculine's emotional space right now? And we have the Five of Pentacles, isolated and alone. And that's coming out with the Tower, divine intervention. And so the masculine emotionally is feeling very isolated and alone. But there's some sort of something that's coming into his reality to shake things up. There's some sort of revelation or understanding that he's having around this loneliness and this isolation. Tell me more about this. And then we have the Hierophant, spiritual advisement, and the High Priestess, hidden knowledge. And so this is interesting. It's almost like this Tower for him, the masculine energy has been very isolated. He's been very lonely. He's been really kept to himself, kind of pulled his energy back. This is like the lone wolf energy, which is something that the masculine energy may have been, like he may have been the lone wolf. Right? For a long time. And it's sort of like there's some sort of divine intervention coming in. Somebody who's advising him, right? The Hierophant can be a teacher. Like we see, I always think of commitment when I see this card because it looks like a married couple, right? Holding hands. But the advisement, especially with the High Priestess, the hidden knowledge, I feel like the divine masculine is getting some sort of intervention that is sort of preventing him from continuing this isolated path, this lonely path, in the term in the way of some sort of advisement, somebody speaking knowledge to him, something speaking knowledge to him. So some of them, it may be like a flash of insight from their guides, their spiritual team. They may be receiving messages, just lots of wisdom coming through to try to assist them in this process of understanding where this energy comes from, where this lone wolf energy comes from, and maybe healing some of that. Yeah. And where is the divine masculine in his mental space? Whoa. Those cards just poured out before I could even finish asking my question here. All right, so we have the Three of Wands, awaiting results. We have the Seven of Pentacles, reevaluation. And we have the Wheel of Fortune, destined opportunities. And so this in his mental space is like he's really he's reevaluating some things. He's reevaluating the effort that he's put into situations, the opportunities that have been presented to him. It's like he's recognizing opportunities, and he's really he's becoming aware of those possibilities. And why is this awaiting results here? Knight of Wands, passionate adventure coming out. Okay. Too many cards. Why is he awaiting results? Give me some more information about this. Manifestation tools, magician. All right, so the divine masculine, I feel like has he's manifesting opportunities right now. For passion, for adventure. He's reevaluated some things. Maybe he's in this process of reevaluating, like as this higher guidance comes through, he's in this process of reevaluating this like lone wolf kind of energy, like him sort of being on this singular path, and not letting anybody in. And he is he's realized and recognized opportunities for what they are. And he's wanting to act upon those opportunities. And so he's sort of like manifesting and setting his goals right now, setting his desires, putting those out there to the universe. And he wants this passion. He wants this adventure, right? Tell me anything else here. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles, independence coming out. That's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. Give us more on this Nine of Pentacles. Then we have the Four of Wands. The King of Cups, emotional mastery. And the Divine Masculine card coming out. Yeah, so this is his energy. He's just confirming that, I guess. He's really spent some time alone, right? As we've determined. But he's feeling really centered in his own independence, in his own, secure within himself, right? And now it's like he's ready to move out of this independent energy to the extent of like still being whole and complete within himself, but like building a foundation and committing to something, because he is like he has sort of mastered this fear of his emotions, almost this or this lack of emotion. I feel like it's this way that he's convinced himself that he has a lack of emotion, because that was the way that he knew how to deal with his emotions, was to sort of like sweep them under the rug kind of thing. And it's like now he's mastered that energy more. He's really standing and owning his emotionality. And that was interesting because we did have the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck when we were doing the Divine Feminine. And so really mastering his emotions, he's ready to create, to really commit to something, to create a foundation. Tell me more about this foundation. Tell me, whoa. So we had the New Perspectives, the Hanged Man card come out with the heavy burdens. I feel like in the past he had this perspective or this understanding of commitment and emotionality as burdens, as things that were heavy. And he's getting some new perspectives or some new understandings around that. Then we have the Four of Swords, healing and recovery. Coming out with the Page of Swords, which is thoughts. And so there's some healing and recovery happening just in general in his life. Really around sort of, I feel like all of the mental chaos. He's healing when it comes to that mental chaos. And sort of recovering from the insanity of his own thoughts, from the craziness, the looping of his own thoughts. Any other energies for what the Divine Masculine has been dealing with here? Received. So we have received, we have forgiveness, and then we have separation in the reverse. And so I feel like he's received he's received a message, he's received some sort of understanding, some sort of insight, and he's forgiving. I feel like this is a mix. He's forgiving himself. He's forgiving others. He's in this place of, I'm feeling compassion coming from that forgiveness piece more than anything else. And he's wanting to heal and end a separation. Tell me more about the forgiveness card. And we have lessons and release. So there's some major lessons that he had to learn. And he's learned those, and he's ready to release those now. He's ready to release the burdens, the heaviness. And some of the ways that he's releasing burdens and heaviness is through forgiveness. Through forgiveness of past situations, of past people, the forgiveness of himself. I feel like he's, whatever ways that Spirit has been coming and trying to speak to him, he's received those messages. He understands them. He's doing the work that he needs to do to heal, to forgive, to release, so that he can fully learn those lessons, incorporate those lessons, and not have to learn them anymore. And he can come out of the separation energy. Tell me more about the separation energy. Okay, so we have mask coming out. Tell me more about that. The answer is yes. I feel almost like he was wearing a mask for a while. He wasn't able to show people the real him, to show his real feelings, to show the truth of his heart, or the truth about his desires. And now he's feeling much more confident in being able to do that, and being able to take off the mask. And to say yes, where in the past, it's sort of like he said no. And then we have offer and admire that wanted to pop out there. But let's see. Yeah, and they did. So he's ready to make an offer. He has a lot of admiration. I'm feeling like this toward his divine feminine. A lot of admiration. And he's ready to make an offer. It's like he's hoping that the answer is going to be yes. He's like, please let the answer be yes. Which is interesting. This is what he's moving towards, is this energy of making this offer. Yeah. Anything more for the divine feminine? We have mute. And then we have muse and family coming out. So the divine feminine's not really saying much right now. The divine feminine's really, I mean, she's in hermit mode. She's pulled back into that mode. She's healing. She's reflecting. She's trying to understand. She's seeing and understanding some things, and she's definitely feeling a little bit of sadness, a little bit of regret about the ways that she's handled situations in the past, about really healing from this pain, especially this pain of abandonment, and just things never really working out. There's also, with the family card here, it's like there may be family issues that she's dealing with. And this lack of inspiration, right? She's wanting to be inspired, but she's not feeling inspired with that upside down. Tell me more about the family card. And then we have destruction. So there may be some difficult stuff going on for the feminine as far as family goes, like losing family members, feeling like her family is being torn apart. There may be divorce going on for some divine feminines right now. Just a lot of chaos when it comes to the family life. And then we have divine timing and tribe coming out for the feminine. And so this is a reminder that everything happens in divine timing. It's like she's really having to learn how to trust divine timing, how to trust. It's sort of like this tornado ripping through her life right now, sort of upending a lot of things. And so she's needing to really learn how to trust in divine timing and how to rely on her tribe. It's like this energy where she feels like she's alone in a lot of ways, but she's really not. And so it's the coming of understanding of that and the sort of the calling in of the soul tribe. I feel like things are being removed so that some more of that soul tribe can come in. If it hasn't yet. Because you see how there's one elephant here and then there's two approaching it. And so I feel like some of this, it may not even be literal family. For some, it may be like people that felt like family. Right? And it's just like a lot of those relationships are being upended right now, which is only adding to this sense of abandonment, right? But it's like her tribe is coming in. And so she's just trying to have faith in that. Or Spirit is asking the feminine to have faith in that right now. And to know that this lack of inspiration, if she's experiencing that, isn't going to last forever. But there's really some stuff that needs to be healed, and everything that's going on in her reality right now is teaching her the lessons that she asked to learn. It's like she asked to learn about this, all of this, these shadow energies within her, and she didn't really anticipate all of what was going to come with that, is almost the way it feels. And then we have fear coming out. So a lot of her fears sort of showing themselves. Yeah. And you can see the mirroring energy here, right? Because we have the received with that hand. And then you see the hand in the window there. And so it's almost like, I feel as though the masculine can feel the feminine's fear. And he's receiving and feeling those messages too. And that's something that the feminine is beginning to understand as well, is how, like, her, when we talk about this mirroring energy, how her energy is mirrored by the masculine's energy. And so when she's in that state of fear, he feels that and reacts to that. And she's understood how she's done that a bunch of times without even being conscious of it. And that's what part of that regret is about too. Is about really beginning to understand that. And it's almost like maybe in the past, because of that pride and ego, she put a lot of that energy on him. And she didn't put enough of it, like she didn't do enough of the sort of trying to figure out where that was existing within her. But now that she's done that, it's like everything is just humbling down. It's like she opened the floodgates, and it's a lot of energy to try to work with and to try to understand. And to embrace and to heal. Right? But we have fifth dimension on the bottom of the deck. Right? That's the energy. This is the journey that gets us there. And so we're going to get a final card for the feminine from the Secret Language of Light. Clear. Let's get some final closing guidance or energy for the divine feminine. All right. Yeah, that works. So we have variance coming out. And I'm going to read that from the book. And this says, and I'm going to hold that up because these cards are so gorgeous. Today you may not feel like yourself. You and your soul are looking at the same thing but are seeing it differently. Your emotions and reactions are a combination of your thoughts and your soul's thoughts. And when they don't align, you feel wobbly. Variance is a way of explaining the wobble. When you have the same perspective as your soul, things feel right. They may seem satisfactory and easy. No limiting beliefs or patterns are triggered, but there is a feeling that all is well. Your soul will never join you in judgment, blame, or hurt because it is not the truth of you. It is not the perspective of love. How you feel reveals how aligned you are with your soul. If you are experiencing something that doesn't feel quite right, take a breath and come back to your center. You will begin to feel better, inspired to navigate your inner radar, and ready to receive your soul's transmissions. And so this is all about really feeling, really noticing when you're in alignment and when you're not. And so the Divine Feminine is being guided to pay close attention to when she's feeling herself moving out of alignment and coming back into, bringing herself back to center when that happens. And really just paying attention to that and constantly bringing herself into alignment and into alignment and into alignment. When are you in your ego's energy and when are you in your soul's energy? Really, right? And seeing the difference between how those two energies feel. And that's part of why the Divine Feminine has been going through everything that she's been going through, is because she's very clearly being shown the difference between being in her ego's energy and being in her soul's energy. And eventually this contrast is going to help her to merge those two together, so that she's able to navigate her life more efficiently and effectively, and to stay in that place of being in the flow with her soul, by being able to recognize when she's moving into her ego energy more efficiently and effectively, if that makes sense. Clear. All right, a card for the masculine. Whew, jeez. These cards wanting to pop right out for the masculine today, you guys. All right. And so insight, that's what we're gonna pull. The masculine has been gaining an incredible amount of insight into himself, into his motivations, into his desires. And we're going to read this out of the book as well. And this is card number 13. And this says, you are or are about to see further, higher, and deeper through space and time. Your psychic skills are expanding and seeing through the lens of your soul. Hone your abilities by reading about or doing a workshop on intuitive development. We are all psychic. It is a part of who we are. But we have thrust this ability into the background in favor of other senses. Problems occur when we keep looking at the manifested world for proof of our worth. You are worthy because you are here. There is nothing to prove. You could become an intuitive reader if this is something you desire. It could also mean you are learning to trust what you feel and take the next steps to take. And the next steps to take will drop into your mind in the following days. Interesting. Yes. And so that last part was as the masculine is learning to trust how he feels and learning how to tap into his intuition and his higher guidance and allow himself to be guided with that. And we can see that with this Hierophant and Hidden and High Priestess energy that we saw as well, right? As he's learning how to tap into that and listen to that more and more answers are going to begin to come and flow to the masculine. All right. Let's see. Do we want to get any final guidance here? I guess that was the final guidance. I guess we don't need to keep going and going. It's hard sometimes for me. But we can definitely feel where the energies are at. It's really interesting. And like I said, we can read these as energies within ourselves. I mean, we see how when the cards start coming out, they do feel like an interaction as well. And so there's definitely an aspect of that, whether it's interacting within ourselves or interacting with an outward manifestation of these energies that we are doing this dance with and learning and growing with in the outer world, right? But even as we're doing that, it's happening in our inner world as well. And so it's just really fun to play around with these energies and to check them out. And so I hope that you guys that wanted this reading found this interesting. Let me know what you think, how you like the format and all of that different stuff. We may play around with this energy a little bit more in the future. Drop a comment. If you like this video, all of the stuff that I say, right? Links down below to donate. My email is down below as well if you want to reach out for a personal reading or a healing session, help to work through some of these energies, especially my feminines right now. The feminine or that feminine aspect of our nature has a lot going on right now, a lot that it's sifting through and healing and working through. As the feminine, and we've seen this, right? As our masculine energies were activated through that second half of 2020, it's like now it's bringing a deeper level of healing to the feminine side of our energies. Our feminine sides, it's almost like feel safe to pull back and heal, which is absolutely beautiful. But there's a lot more there, I think, than possibly we realize. So please reach out to me if you would like some assistance. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon.